Sup y'all, it's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today I want to show you guys how to get all of the achievements required for Glory of the Legion Raider. If you get all of them and you get the meta achievement, it's going to reward you with the Grove Defiler, which is basically a reskinned moose, except for it's black and red, and it doesn't really look like it's in that good of a mood. So we're going to be starting with the Emerald Nightmare achievements, and then we're going to be transitioning over to Nighthold and looking at all the achievements that are going to be in Nighthold as well. Now, I'm assuming that a lot of you guys probably have one or two of these achievements already, so you don't want to go through the whole video, or you're just looking for a specific achievement. I'm going to have navigation links in the video description below, so you guys can go directly to the achievement that you're looking for. Now, one thing I want to say before we start this is that this took me a ton of time, a ton of effort, a ton of work, more than I put into a video in months. So I hope it shows. I hope it helps you guys, and I hope you guys like the video, especially down below. But anyway, let's go ahead and start. The first achievement we're going to be looking at here is called Buggy Fight. It's from Nithindria. Basically, you have to stomp on 15 glow bugs throughout the course of the fight. Glow bugs spawn whenever Nithindria is in her Heart of the Swarm phase. She's going to summon about 3 to 5 glow bugs per phase, so you're going to have to go through multiple phases. There's one of the bugs right there, and all you have to do is just walk over to a bug, click on the bug, and it's going to smash the bug. It's really not that big of a deal. The only real difficult part of this is pretty much, there's no real difficult part. The difficult part is waiting. This achievement is going to take a while because you're going to have to go through multiple Heart of the Swarm phases. There is a weak aura to track this achievement, but the weak aura tracks the amount of times that somebody casts the ability to smash the glow bugs, and because multiple people can cast the ability on the same glow bug, it can be inaccurate whenever it says how many glow bugs that you smash. So my recommendation is that you wait until she's about to enrage at the end of her last Heart of the Swarm phase, and then if you've clicked enough glow bugs and you want to assign people, as you guys can see there are markers, you want to assign each group to different places in the room, so there's no glow bug that's left unsmashed. And as soon as she's about to enrage, go ahead and kill her, and if you've done basically every glow bug phase, every Heart of the Swarm phase correctly, you're probably going to have at least 15 glow bugs that you've smashed throughout the fight. Now, the second achievement we're looking at here is called Scare Bear. Now, this is from Ursoc. Right before you get to Ursoc's room, to the right, there's going to be an extra pack of trash with this guy here. Now, you want to basically kill that extra pack of trash, click the guy, that's going to kind of activate him, and then you want to run up here, clear all the other trash that's in the way just to save time, and also just to make things cleaner, I guess. And then as soon as you get up to Ursoc here, go ahead and pull Ursoc. And the achievement is to make sure that this guy, Tor, I think Toll or whatever, Rage Paw, does not die. And so the way that you do that is you just make sure you have a couple of healers assigned to them, or just basically all of the healers are looking at him, and if he takes any damage, they just heal him back up. The only real damage that he's going to be taking throughout the fight, if you're doing this on normal mode, is going to be the barreling charge, or the the overwhelm. Whenever he charges away, it's going to do about half of his health, so don't worry about that too much. Just make sure you have healers paying attention to him, and if you do wipe for whatever reason, you can go out, you can reset the instance, because he dies if you do wipe the first time, so you'd have to go out and reset the entire instance, re-clear the trash, and then you're going to have another try at it. It's kind of annoying, but I don't know why you'd wipe on normal mode Ursoc anyway, so you shouldn't really have too much trouble. This next achievement is actually kind of annoying. It's called Imagine Dragons World Tour. Now, what you have to do is you have to get, whenever you go inside one of the 4 portals that's in the room, you can click on, you walk over these little green orbs that are all around the room, and basically whenever you run over one of them, it's going to give you a buff. Each different portal gives you a different buff whenever you run over the orb in that portal, and every single player in the group all has to have all 4 buffs. And so the way you want to do this is you want to have 4 tanks, and you want to have maybe 1 or 2 extra healers. Have the entire raid, except for the 2 tanks that are going to be tanking the boss, and 1 or 2 healers to heal those 2 tanks. Everybody besides them is going to all be on their mounts, and you guys are going to be running from different portal to different portal and getting all of these buffs. Now, after the entire rest of the group has gotten these buffs, then the 2 other tanks are going to taunt off of the tanks that were tanking at the beginning, and also the healers will take over from the healers that were healing at the beginning, and then they're basically going to be able to, the 2 tanks that were tanking at the beginning, go around like I'm doing right now, go around and get their 4 buffs, and then also the healers do the same thing. So you kind of have 2 teams. You have the entire rest of the raid, and then you have the 2 tanks, and then you kind of alternate. It's pretty simple, but it's kind of annoying to coordinate, especially whenever you have a large group like I did, and we didn't really have voice chat. But ultimately, it's very easy easy to do. There should be really no trouble here. As you guys can see, all you do is walk over the orb. At the first portal, whenever everybody goes inside, obviously you're probably going to have to wait for a couple of orbs, which really isn't that big of a deal. And as you can see here, I was extra paranoid, okay, because I did not want to do this twice. And there is, by the way, you guys see that weak aura that I'm using? I'm going to have a link to that in the video description below, so you guys can use that as well. And that tracks to make sure that every single player has the buffs and which buffs that they're missing and which player is missing which buffs. And so whenever it says nobody is missing a buff, obviously then you can kill the boss, but I wanted to double check. So if you have the right comp and you have the right coordination and communication, doing this achievement is very easy. Just make sure everybody has all 4 buffs and kill the bosses. That's pretty much it. So the next achievement is actually even more annoying than the last one. It's called Webbing Crashers. Now, there are going to be 7 different locations that are special egg sac spawn. The first one you guys just saw right there, the orange one, and I put markers where each one is. There's the moon right there, and you're going to have to, throughout the course, throughout the course of the, I think it's Eloreth or Illithri, I don't know really whichever one, how to pronounce her name, Eloreth or Illithri Renferal, you basically have to pop all 7 of these flaming egg sacs. Now there's one right over there at green. There's one right down there below me. There's one right there at blue, and you can tell that they're the special, the pulsating egg sacs because they have the fire on them. And there's also the one right down below there at X, as you can see down below me. And so what you want to do is you want to have people who are able to basically get large distances. Now you can use this with the feathers that you get during the fight, or you can also use demon hunters. Because we were very overgeared, I opted to just do it right at the beginning, so we wasted as little time as possible. If we had a mistake, we could just immediately wipe. So what I'm going to do here is I assign each player to go to a different egg sac. So as you see right there, there's the skull, and somebody's running over to the skull, and they're going to pop that egg sac, and it's going to explode. And in just a second here, you're going to see purple. Somebody's going to be jumping over to purple and popping that one as well. And if you're having trouble with this fight, you don't really have a lot of people, and you can't afford to have people basically go out and suicide like that demon hunter is doing right over there at green, you can just have people do it towards the end of the fight. But since we had really good gear and everything, I just opted to do it at the beginning just to save a lot of time. So after you've killed all 7 pulsating egg sacs, you can just kill the boss. The main difficulty here is having to assign different people that can get there. So you want to use the shamans that have, I don't know what the ability is, honestly. I think it's an enhanced ability where it jumps them forward. You want to use demon hunters because they can glide down. You want to use hunters because they can disengage. There are plenty of different different classes that you can use that are very useful. If you don't have one of those classes, you can always use the feathers that you get whenever you transition from the first platform over to the second one. That is an option, but I don't think that you'll need to use that, especially if you have a large group that's pretty diverse. So this is, again, one of the more annoying achievements, but whenever you know what to do and you know where the egg sacs are, you really shouldn't have too much trouble. Just go around, find the red ones, and then have people pop those. Now, the next achievement we're looking at here is called Took the Red Eye Down, and what you have to do is you have to detonate or kill, or is it inflicting? Yeah, inflicting, basically you have to kill 20 of these Nightmare Ichors on top of Il'gynoth all at the same time or within 10 seconds of each other. So let's go ahead and do some math here. Each of the Dominator Tentacles, sorry about the chair by the way, each of the Dominator Tentacles are going to produce 4 Ichors, so no damage on Ichors until there's 20. Basically, everybody's going to be running around with Ichors chasing them at the end of this fight. So each of the Dominator Tentacles produce 4, the Corruptor Tentacles produce 1, the Nightmare Horrors produce 4, and the Deathglare Tentacles produce 2. So after you kill the Nightmare Horror and a set of 2 Deathglare Tentacles, you should have 20, and at that point you want to have everybody get up to the middle and right on top of the eye. This, whenever you have a Death Knight with a Gorfien's Grasp, a Blood Death Knight, even if they don't have a Blood spec, as long as they can click that button, they're going to be extremely useful for this achievement. So you want to get everybody, as soon as you find that there's 20 Ichors, you want to get everybody stacked up on top of the Eye of Il'gynoth. Hopefully Gorfien's Grasp them all on top of the eye, stun them, AoE them all down, pop all your cooldowns, kill all of the eyes at the Ichors at the same time on top of the eye, and that's really going to be it. So as I said before, you're going to have the 4, the 2, the 4, so it's going to be 4 of them. Well, basically, whenever you get the corrupted horror down, you should have 20. And as I said, there's the math again. I will re-explain. We did that a little bit too early, but again, just wait until all the Ichors are together. If you have somebody attacking the Ichors early, just kick them out of the raid, right? You don't kill any Ichors. You don't do any damage to the Ichors at all until there's all 20 right there stacked under Il'gynoth, right like you guys see right there. It's going to immediately push him into phase 2. So you just pop hero, burn down Il'gynoth, and that's really pretty much it. It's one of those achievements that it doesn't really require a ton of coordination or anything like that. Well, I guess it does to an extent. It just requires people to not be stupid. And sometimes that can be very difficult, but whenever you have good players and people that you trust, which hopefully you do whenever you're doing this, it shouldn't really be all that hard. So the next achievement we're looking at here is use the forces. Now, this is, you have to do multiple attempts of this, and basically the area that most players are at, I believe, is where Cenarius is going to not cleanse, or is going to cleanse, or I guess it's Malfurion, is going to cleanse that type of ad, right? So you're going to have the Nightmare Ancient on the right, you're going to have the Wisps on the left, and in the back left is going to be the Dragon, and in the second set of the ads, which you probably won't get unless you have a pretty undergeared group, there's going to be the Sister on the other side adjacent to the Drake, right? So you just basically want to go and make sure that, again, this is one of the achievements that a lot of people probably already have, so just make sure that you do whichever one you have the most people near, whichever one that most people need without it being cleansed, and that's pretty much it. Honestly, there's not really a whole lot to say about that achievement. Most people, as I said, this is one of the achievements that most people already have. Now, the next achievement here is called I Attack the Darkness. Now, actually, we're not going to be using, Magic Missile for this. We're going to be using Spectral Sight. So you have to have a Demon Hunter for this. As far as I know, there's nothing else that's able to actually detect these ads. Now, what you need to do as a Demon Hunter, you go outside the realm that you're fighting Xavius in, the big circle, you use Spectral Sight, and there are going to be ads patrolling around the outside. And I'm going to show us on my Demon Hunter in just a minute here. There are going to be ads patrolling all around the outside, and you just need to get one of these ads, aggro them, and then pull them back in and kill the ad. And you're going to need to kill one ad at the first phase, one ad in the second phase, and one ad in the third phase. And so here I am on my Demon Hunter at the beginning, and I had a little bit of lag there, and as you can see, as soon as I use Spectral Sight, you can see the Creature of Madness, and all you do is you just tag it and you pull it back inside. It usually focuses the Demon Hunter, so make sure that you don't let the Demon Hunter die, but it really should be no problem whatsoever. It's one of those achievements that is very easy to do if you have a Demon Hunter, and just make sure that they know that Spectral Sight has a pretty long duration, so even if you don't see it, it's on the other side of the room, you can just double Fell Rush or, whatever retreat thing, and probably get over there and just still hit it even if it's on the other side. So again, I think that the first phase is, so you want to do one right at the beginning. The second phase, I think happens at about like 60 or 65%. So as soon as the second phase happens, go ahead and have your Demon Hunters go out again and pull in a second Creature of Madness. And then whenever the third phase happens, which I believe is like 30 or 40%, or maybe 35, somewhere around there, as soon as that happens, obviously you just want to go ahead and pull in the third one, and then you're going to kill the boss. Just make sure you kill 3, and that's pretty much it. It's not really all that hard at all. So now we're going to be taking a look at the Nighthold achievements. So this is probably what a lot of you guys are here for, because these are the hardest ones, right? So the first achievement we're going to look at here is called Cage Rematch. Basically what you have to do is you have to fight Scorpion without a single player going outside the circle that you're fighting him in. Now, we were extra conservative here, and we didn't even go into like the blue middle area of the circle just to be extremely safe. Now, you are able to track this achievement, so make sure you do have it tracked. If it goes red, that obviously means that somebody's moved outside. You want to make sure that people are avoiding Focus Blast. Now, the only thing besides having a complete moron in your group that's going to fail this achievement, and I guess doing this would be kind of like something a complete moron would be doing, is somebody getting hit by the shockwave. Now, if you get hit by the shockwave, it's going to knock you at like lightning speed to the outside of the room, right? So you want to make sure that everybody is line of sighting the shockwave with one of these crystals, and as long as you're doing that, you should have no trouble whatsoever. Make sure to be very, very careful. After he does the Chitinous Exoskeleton, I believe that's how to pronounce it, he will usually cast shockwave because the timer will have gotten to the point where he's available to use that ability. So whenever here, as soon as the chitinous exoskeleton ends, you want to have everybody ready to LOS Scorpion. But honestly, guys, it's really simple. You just make sure that nobody gets hit by the shockwave by LOSing the shockwave, and nobody moves outside the circle for any reason whatsoever. It's really simple. Now, this achievement here is actually the last one that we were able to do, and the one that confused a lot of people. It's called Grand Opening, and you want to do this on Herlock because basically all of these little purple circles that you guys are seeing around the Nightwell here, you have to have each person, or each of those purple circles, one person needs to be standing on each of those purple circles with a time bomb, and the time bomb needs to explode on top of that purple circle. Whenever that happens, there's going to be a small, very, very hard to see beam of light that's going to come up. As you can see, there's one on the left there, and also one on the right. And you need to make sure that all of those beams of light are all lit up. And this is going to be a little bit more difficult because you are going to be probably having to do this on Herlock, but I would say if you've completed all of the other achievements, you shouldn't really have too much trouble. So again, if you do have time bomb, or somebody in the group has time bomb, you need to make sure that they are all standing on the different pillars. And as you guys saw right there, there's one to the right that just got activated by somebody standing on it, again with time bomb. Time bomb has different durations and everything like that, so everybody needs to be paying attention and rotate the boss around the room so people don't have to move all the way over to the other side of the room, outside the range of healers and everything, in order to get to the blue circle that they need to explode on. So right now we're looking, and I'm going through all of these blue circles, and as you can see, there's somebody who's had a time bomb expire on them on all of these blue circles, and it's lit all of them up. And so I'm just going around and double checking, and as soon as you see all of the blue or purple, I guess they're blue, the blue circles lit up, then you can kill the boss. So this achievement is really annoying to do, so I would recommend, especially because it's on Heroic, I would recommend to just have one person that you want kind of go around and check every single spot and every single beam and make sure that they're all lit up. Make sure you have your graphics on high so you are actually able to see those beams. So that's honestly pretty much it. Just make sure the time bombs go off on all of the different blue circles, and after they've gone off on every single one, kill the boss. The next achievement here is probably one that you're going to get pretty much by killing the boss. We got this on literally our first try. I didn't even record it, so I do apologize for the quality on this one, and also part of the Croesus one. I took this off of my stream, but basically what you have to do here is you can't eat more than 20 toxic slices during the Trilliax encounter, and the odds are you're probably not even going to get 20 slices throughout the Trilliax encounter. But if you are having trouble with this one for whatever reason, just bring in a smaller group, because less slices are going to spawn whenever there's a smaller group. And as you can see there, he just cast the slices, and those are the things, those are like the pieces of cake, right? The toxic cakes. The toxic slice, I thought it was like an attack he did until I actually figured out it was the cake. So make sure that you either just don't eat any of them and you just let them explode, or you pretty much do the fight normally and you're probably going to get it anyway. It's one of the achievements that pretty much everybody has just by doing the fight normally. If you have done this on normal mode, maybe on Mythic you might not get it every time, but on Heroic and normal I would assume that you would. Now the next achievement here is called the Change in Scenery. Now this achievement is a huge pain in the ass, okay? So you have to pull Spellblade Oriole to 3 different locations in the Nighthold and then kill her in those 3 different locations. The first location, as you guys see, and you can track this achievement by the way, the first location is called Astromancer's Rise that I just pulled her through. The second location that I'm taking her to right now is I think the Shaldorei Terrace, which is the place where High Botanist is. And so what you want to do is you want to have your entire raid, and I'll talk about the lockout in just a second here, but you want to have your entire raid waiting for you at the place you're going to be pulling her at. So the first time we pulled her all the way over to High Botanist, and also make sure that you have a tank and maybe 1 or even 2 healers with that tank to bring her over, because the Annihilation, I think that's the ability that she casts on the tank, does a lot of damage, especially whenever the tank has 1 stack of it. So make sure that if you are tanking her and you're pulling her over, you use all of your cooldowns on the second one. You probably won't need any cooldowns for the first one. As you can see, the Shaldorei Terrace just went white, and you do have to pull her over there within 120 seconds of engaging her. So just make sure you pull her over to the High Botanist area, kill her there, and that's going to get you the first part of the achievement. Now, it's really annoying to be able to have a lockout to do this, and so you're going to have to effectively kill the boss 3 times, right? So if you can, try to get a lockout that only has her alive, or just if you're doing the achievement, kill all of the bosses besides her, and it's going to save you a ton of time. Now, the gate to Croesus didn't open for me, and I don't really know why at the first time that we did it, but apparently that's been fixed. So if you are having trouble with having the gate open, I don't really know what to tell you, because I think that they fixed it, but I'm not entirely sure. So the second place we're going to be taking over to is the Croesus room, and if you do have somebody who can give you the lockout, basically what you want to do is, if you're doing an achievement run, like let's say you want to have somebody bring their alt to Trilliax, or basically have somebody that has an alt that you can give them raid leader, have them reset the instance, and then have everybody zone in, so you can just repeat kill Spellblade Oriole all 3 times that you need. Now, as you can see, get ready for this. So this is whenever she's about to cast Annihilate again, and I already have 1 stack, and you're going to see how much damage it does, and I want to be extra careful, so I popped Shield Wall and Last Stand. It was more than enough to stay alive, but again, you do want to make sure that you're paying attention to that, and your healer knows what's going on, and your tank is ready for it, just as well as your healer. That's why you might want to have another healer or another DPS basically coming with you. But besides that, you want to have the entire rest of your group sitting down here at Croesus's area or wherever you're taking her to, and that's pretty much it. As soon as you get her there, kill her, and that's it. The Croesus area, make sure you're not next to the edge so it doesn't knock you in the water, by the way. Fun fact. This third place here is the Astromancer's Rise, which is just right under the Star Augur room. It's not really all that complicated, but the problem with this one is probably the most annoying, because you're going to have to fight her in a very, very, it's very tight enclosure, right? You don't have a lot of room to move around like you usually do whenever you fight her. So make sure that you make use of your room. Obviously, smaller raid sizes do make this easier because there are going to be less adds and less debuffs going out. But either way, it shouldn't really matter too much. Just make sure that you pull her inside here. And again, the achievement will go white, so you're going to know whenever you actually do you've completed all the criteria for the achievement, and she does actually have to die in the area that you pulled her to, right? So it doesn't mean you just pull her there and you pull her back to the original place where she was. She has to reach that place within 2 minutes of engaging her, and then she also has to die there. It's pretty simple, actually. So the next achievement here is actually from Croesus, and again, the lockout and everything like that can be extremely frustrating, so this will probably take you the most time out of all the achievements, even though it's not very difficult between like re-clearing trash and everything like that. But having a lockout with only her alive saves you so much time and grief. Now, the next achievement here is called Burning Bridges. Now, Croesus summons these little burning embers. Now, what you want to do is you don't want to soak any of the burning embers, the little swirlies where the burning embers are going to spawn. You don't want to soak any of the burning embers in melee, because what's going to happen is Croesus, every third smash, is going to completely destroy the bridge. You want to keep the burning embers up until he destroys the bridge. Whenever he destroys the bridge, the burning embers on top of the bridge that's getting destroyed will fall into the water and be quenched. You need to have 15 burning embers do this, and you need to also have morons that, like, I don't know why are these dying? I have no idea. I was getting so mad. I'm getting mad again just watching it. I have no idea why these were dying. But you do not want to kill the burning embers. Okay, it's really simple. Make sure melee don't have any incidental AoE. You're going to have to go through probably 3 different, I guess like 9 effectively, slams, so you don't really need to just, pump out, the max DPS as possible. So if you have people who are using AoE abilities, please, tell them to not use them. So as you can see there, he just smashed the bridge, and 5 of the elementals just got quenched, and you have to do that 15, you have to have 15 of them get quenched. And again, see, here's the second set, and there is going to be a little bit extra damage going out, so you might want to overheal this, bring maybe a couple of extra healers, but for the most part, especially on normal mode, this really shouldn't be all that hard to do. And for a group that's able to clear heroic with relative ease, Croesus heroic with relative ease, getting this achievement really shouldn't be all that hard to do either. So as you can see, there's a few of them alive, still alive somehow. First time we had so many Bladestorm to fucking ads. So anyway, there's the 6th smash, the second bridge destruction, and more of them got quenched. And this achievement, I'm really glad Blizzard did this. This achievement will also go white whenever you actually do quench enough of the elementals. The third time around, people finally fucking understood what to do. And also, those orbs in the back right there, make sure whenever the orbs are going out and whenever smash is going out, especially these last ones, you've got healing cooldowns going out, like Aura Master Victory, Commanding Shout, Rallying Cry, basically whatever you have, right? And then Tranquility. And as you can see, he smashed a ton of the elementals, and the achievement went white, which allows us to kill the boss. And you probably just want a heroism at the beginning. No real point in saving that. Just make sure that you don't soak the steroids at the front of the boss and allow Croesus to smash them. You still want to kill and soak the steroids that are in the back, though. It's not like you want to keep all of them alive. Just the ones in the front that will be smashed by the next slam that destroys the bridge. Now, the next achievement we're going to be looking at here is called Tichondrius, or it's not called Tichondrius, it's called Not For You, and it's from Tichondrius. So basically what you have to do is he's going to cast an ability called Echoes of the Void. Now, Echoes of the Void puts out different pillars around the room, and you have to LOS the ability that he does that's going to hit every single player in the room with these pillars. There's Echoes of the Void, there are the pillars going out. Now, what can happen here is, well, this achievement is completely bugged out. Okay, it's completely bugged out, so it's going to say that you completed it, and then you won't complete it. It's really, really buggy. I got hit by it like 15 times on Heroic, and I still got it. And then this time, whenever I didn't get hit at all, I didn't get it. So it was really, really weird. But basically, the pillars that you have to stand behind only have so much health, I guess. So you want to assign different players going to different pillars, and you want to make sure that's an even amount of players going to each pillar, so you don't have too many people going to the same pillar, and then the pillar breaks early, and those people fail the achievement. Now, as I said, this achievement does definitely seem to be bugged. I'm 99% sure that it's bugged, so if you don't get it, don't worry, just try it again. I'm not sure really if you can track this achievement or not. It does seem to be, as I said, very unpredictable. And so, as you can see, I'm going to the next, I guess, like little pillar, or what are they called, like obelisk or whatever, and I'm LOSing it. And again, if you have everybody stacking behind one of them, because it goes to each player, shooting them at each player. If it absorbs too much, it will break early. Now, the next achievement is called Elementalry, I think it's how to pronounce it, and it's from Star Augur. You want to clear all of the trash, and you want to pull this Nether Elemental. And if you guys don't know where this is, whenever you're walking up the stairs, it's over to the left, and you want to clear all the trash around it. And there are going to be two acolytes that are kind of it's like imprisoning the elemental. Get the elemental to 50% health and stop damage, okay? You can get it lower depending on how confident you are with your group, but I would not recommend to get it any lower than like 20%, okay? Honestly, if you do that, you're going to be having a ton of trouble. So I wanted to check to make sure that I was actually still recording, because if I wasn't, I would go literally insane. Okay, so anyway, you pull the Nether Elemental all the way up to Star Augur's room, and then you pull the boss. Now, throughout the fight of the Star Augur, the Nether Elemental will change forms, and the reason you want to bring him to 50% at the beginning of the fight and not just wait until the end to kill him is because he's going to gain a lot of health throughout the fight, and that health is based on a percentage of his current health. So he's going to have like 300 million health at the end of the fight, and he starts with like 15 million. So if you take him down 7 million at the beginning, you're effectively doing 150 million damage. So as soon as you begin to fight and the first transition begins, he turns into the adventurous Nether Elemental, and you might, because obviously you don't really have more than one try at this, if you redo it without the elemental or with the elemental again, and you bring him back in, it gets really buggy. So if you fail this achievement, I would recommend to just go out and reset the instance and do the trash over again and bring the Nether Elemental up there again and do the whole thing new, because if you don't do that, you're probably going to have a lot of trouble. You want to have a third tank tanking the elemental over on the other side. Now, once you get to the I guess like the purple area here, the Nether Elemental will turn into the well-traveled Nether Elemental, and as you can see there, his health has increased, and as soon as he turns into the well-traveled Nether Elemental, you can go ahead and pop Heroism and burn him down. Usually on Star Augur pugs, the first phase is the worst because people don't know where to stand, so if you're very, very worried about that, but you do have a lot of good damage and you're just worried about doing mechanics properly, you can pop Hero at the beginning, and that might make the last phase a little bit more difficult, but if you have the throughput, it could be better, just so you don't have an early wipe due to bad tank positioning or bad DPS positioning or something like that. But again, just make sure that you start the fight with the elemental sitting there, and the third tank is off taking him over to the side, and as soon as he turns from the adventurous elemental all the way over to the well-traveled Nether Elemental, you kill him, and then you kill the boss, and that should be it. If you wipe, I would recommend resetting the instance and trying the whole thing over again, despite how annoying that it is. does. Now, the next one here is called Fruit of All Evil, okay? Now, what you have to do, the most annoying part of this achievement is you pretty much have to clear out all of the botanist trash. And there are going to be little, what are they called? Little fruits that you can go around and you can click on. There's little arcane fruits, and they're going to give you a buff. And you have to make sure that every single player in the raid has that buff, and you kill High Botanist with every single player in the raid with that buff. Now, the way you do that is, for one, you don't bring morons to the raid that are going to die. And the second way that you do that is you make sure every single player at the beginning has the buff. Nobody uses immunities or anything like that. I don't know if immunity is cleared or not. Maybe somebody in the comments does know that, but I do know that you don't want to figure that out throughout the fight, because then you're going to have to wipe it. Now, the main killers in this fight are obviously people standing in like the shrinking solar explosions, and also all of the, I guess, like the little red circles exploding at the same time, the plasma spheres exploding at the same time. Tank High Botanist next to one, have melee cleave that one down immediately, and then have range kill the other one, and then let the third one explode on its own. That way you're not going to overlap the buffs. So again, if you do have somebody die and somebody loses their buff, there are little fruits that you can eat in the fight, but I'm pretty sure that you can't click on them whenever you're actually in the fight. So whenever you eat the fruit, it's not like nothing happens. There can be these little hallucinations that will spawn, and they only have 1 health, but only you can see them and kill them. So you need to make sure if a hallucination spawns, you kill it immediately so it doesn't go to a healer. It's individual responsibility. Everybody needs to be paying attention to that. Sometimes you can be stunned with the buff, the debuff actually. Sometimes you can get knocked back by it, but there's tons of different things that can happen. And if you do wipe and somebody does lose the buff, go ahead and reset the boss and all of the fruit will respawn. The most annoying part of this achievement is, again, trying to make sure and clearing out all the trash. As soon as you clear out all the trash, just going back and wiping and resetting it again if somebody dies isn't really that big of a deal. The next achievement here is called Infinitesimal. You want to have out an infinite whelpling. It's the battle pet. Go ahead and summon an infinite whelpling. Kill both the elementals nearly on top of each other, but basically to where they create kind of a Venn diagram where the blue circle is overlapping the pink circle, and put the elemental, the whelpling in between the two circles in the I guess like the V of the Venn diagram, I guess, and it will spawn an infinite drakeling. Now, as soon as the infinite drakeling spawns, you want to have everybody switch over and kill the infinite drakeling, then you kill the boss. That's literally it. It's not hard at all. For an achievement that's for the second to last boss of the instance, this is actually surprisingly easy. So just have an infinite drakeling spawn, and then do the rest of the fight as normal, and you can only spawn it with, again, the infinite whelpling. Kill both of the elementals to where their aura circles overlap, and then pull the whelpling in between the two circles that are overlapping, and that's really all it takes to get the achievement. It's probably one of the easiest ones in here. So the last achievement, we've been going for a while. The last achievement is called I've Got My Eyes on You, and it's from Gul'dan. Now, what you want to do is you want to kill 16 Eyes of Gul'dan within 3 seconds of each other. So this can be extremely, extremely annoying, especially if people don't know what to do. Now, whenever the Eyes of Gul'dan spawn, what you want to do is you want to damage them down to half health or maybe 20% health. Then they're going to duplicate, and obviously if you have 3 of them, you're going to have 3 eyes, and then 6 eyes, and 12 eyes, and 24 eyes. So we're waiting until there's 24 eyes available, then we're going to kill all of the eyes at the same time with all of our AoE cooldowns. And also, whenever the eyes duplicate, they duplicate at their current health. So this first time, we had too many people dotting them up, and I was yelling and mad and angry and like, what are you guys doing? And again, save all of your healing cooldowns for whenever all of the eyes are casting their abilities. So again, don't really worry too much about damaging the eyes a lot. Just make sure that you have them under 50% health, and you shouldn't really have all that much trouble. Focus entirely on the eyes whenever it's called out. You only have 3 seconds to kill all of them, so you want to save every single big AoE cooldown you have. Use your extra action button. I'm going to use like Battle Cry and like Odin's Fury and everything. So this is the one that we got it. So we got 3 eyes right here. And again, healers really need to be healing through damage. You need to be using your personal cooldowns, especially whenever there's 6 eyes. So I'm going to be individually damaging some eyes down just to keep them a little bit lower, because I will reiterate one more time that whenever the eyes do duplicate, they duplicate with their current health. So if it's one eye's at 20% health and it duplicates, both of the eyes after that are going to have 20% health. So it makes it a lot easier to burn them all down very quickly, and so damage doesn't get too uneven. So we're waiting right here. We've got 12 eyes alive. Well, that's 11 because we just had 1 die. And if you have only 2 eyes, again, you just have to wait until there's enough of them to spawn. You don't want to wait until there's like 48 eyes, okay? Like, it's too many eyes, all right? So make sure that they're all very, very low health whenever they duplicate, and as soon as they all duplicate, go ahead and pop all of your cooldowns, AoE them down, and the achievement will actually turn white. So that is really, really great. I love whenever Blizzard actually makes these achievements to where you know what the fuck is going on. You don't just kill the boss and, oh, did I get it or not? Oh, I guess not. But as you can see, the achievement just went white. Make sure that you save all your AoE cooldowns, everything, get the eyes to low health, and then whenever it's called for, burn all of them down all at the same time. You probably want to wait for a couple of extra ones. Don't just have 16, have maybe like 18 or 20, just to make sure that you do kill as many of them as possible, in case you don't actually get all 16 of them at the same time, because it just increases the probability that you're going to kill the 16 within the 3-second time limit. After that, you just have to kill the boss, and that's pretty much it. It's a relatively easy achievement to do with gear, but if you don't have the gear, you're going to have a ton of trouble. So I can't believe it, but it's over. That's it. That's all the achievements, guys. So I really, really, really hope this video helped you. I put a ton of work into it. Most people probably have not even cleared Nighthold, and so if you're a little bit ahead of the curve, here's how to get all of the achievements that are required to get, again, the Grove Defiler mount. And I honestly feel really good that I finished this video. So I really hope this helped you guys. I hope that you liked it, especially down below again. And if I missed anything, if I forgot anything, if there's anything that you want to add to make this a little bit easier, make sure to let me know in the comments below. But that's pretty much all I've got. So thank you for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe.